On October 9, 2018, the White House released a briefing statement regarding Law and Justice titled WTAS, Support for Justice Brett Kavanaugh's Confirmation to the Supreme Court. That briefing statement said, members of Congress, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, Judge Brett Kavanaugh is among the very best our nation has to offer. He will make the Senate and the country proud. He will serve with distinction on our highest court. He unquestionably deserves confirmation. And the country deserves such a Supreme Court justice. Senate Majority Whip John Cornyn of Texas, congratulations to our nation's next Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, Brett Kavanaugh. House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy of California, Judge Kavanaugh's long judicial record speaks to his exceptional character and temperament. I applaud Majority Leader McConnell, Chairman Grassley, and every Republican senator who stood tall and ensured Judge Kavanaugh was confirmed. House Majority Whip Steve Scalise of Louisiana, I applaud the Senate for confirming Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the U.S. Supreme Court. After one of the most exhaustive background checks in the history of the Senate's advice and consent role, Judge Kavanaugh has proven he has the integrity and judicial temperament to serve on the nation's highest court. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley of Iowa, I've said from the day the President announced Judge Kavanaugh's nomination on July 9 that Judge Kavanaugh is quite possibly the most qualified person ever nominated to the Supreme Court. He has spent 25 years of his career at the highest levels of government, including the last 12 years as a judge on the second most important federal court in the country. Judge Kavanaugh's record on the D.C. Circuit has been remarkable. On a court containing some of the brightest legal minds, he has set himself apart. Senator Richard Shelby of Alabama, during his time as a federal judge, Judge Kavanaugh has been a principled, intelligent, and steadfast supporter of the rule of law. In accordance with my constitutional right to advice and consent, I advise that Judge Kavanaugh be the next Associate Justice on the Supreme Court of the United States. Senator Dan Sullivan of Alaska, left square bracket Judge Kavanaugh right square bracket understands the importance of separations of powers and federalism, holds a healthy skepticism regarding the expansive power of federal agencies, and he is a strong protector of the Second Amendmental issues that Alaskans care deeply about, which is why I focused on them in my discussions with Judge Kavanaugh. Senator John Boozman of Arkansas, I voted to confirm Brett Kavanaugh to be an Associate Justice on our nation's highest court. He is eminently qualified and has earned the respect of the legal community by virtue of his distinguished record on the bench. Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas, Judge Kavanaugh was a distinguished jurist who respects our Constitution and the judiciary's vital but limited role in our system of government. I expect Judge Kavanaugh will continue to interpret the Constitution and the laws as written, rather than asserting his own preferences as law. Senator Johnny Isakson of Georgia, Judge Kavanaugh is a talented and experienced jurist, and I am confident he will bring a strong commitment to the Constitution and the rule of law to the Supreme Court. Senator David Perdue of Georgia, I'm proud to vote to confirm such an eminently qualified nominee. Just as he did during his 12 years on the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, I'm confident Judge Kavanaugh will serve this nation well on the United States Supreme Court. Senator Mike Crapo of Idaho, Judge Kavanaugh is a mainstream jurist with a clear record of applying the law as written, consistent with the Constitution. His record as a member of the D.C. Circuit Court shows he has voted with the majority of that court 97% of the time, and his reasoning has been adopted by the U.S. Supreme Court 13 times. Senator Todd Young of Indiana, I proudly cast my vote to confirm Brett Kavanaugh to the U.S. Supreme Court. Hoosiers care deeply about the Constitution and want justices who apply the law as written, not impose their own policy preferences. Senator Joni Ernst of Iowa, Judge Kavanaugh is a highly qualified justice committed to the rule of law and the United States Constitution. I congratulate Judge Kavanaugh on being confirmed by the U.S. Senate for his lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court of the United States. Senator Pat Roberts of Kansas, I voted to confirm the nomination of Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the SCOTUS. As I said when I met Judge Kavanaugh, I am confident he will uphold the values of the Constitution to the highest standard. Senator Jerry Moran of Kansas, Judge Kavanaugh is an extremely well-qualified nominee with a deep respect for the Constitution. His intellect and experience in the legal field will serve the Supreme Court well. Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana. Two important things happened today. A highly qualified jurist became Justice Brett Kavanaugh, and secondly, the Senate established that smear campaigns based upon uncorroborated allegations would not be allowed to destroy somebody and their ability to serve our country. Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana. After months of deliberation, hearings and investigations, today I voted to confirm Judge Kavanaugh to be the next Associate Justice of the United States Supreme Court. He's whip smart. He believes that the role of a judge is to determine what the law is and not what the law ought to be. Senator Roger Wicker of Mississippi. I proudly cast a vote for Judge Kavanaugh. I am confident he will be a fair-minded and honest addition to the Supreme Court. Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith of Mississippi. Brett Kavanaugh earned my vote with his impeccable qualifications and his steadfastness throughout a confirmation process tainted by sordid accusations and crass partisan treachery. Senator Steve Daines of Montana. Congratulations to Supreme Court Justice Kavanaugh. He will be an outstanding justice. Senator Deb Fischer of Nebraska. Judge Brett Kavanaugh is an excellent jurist with a deep commitment to our Constitution and the rule of law. Over the course of his 12 years on the D.C. Circuit Court, he has proven to be one of the most thoughtful, preeminent judges in our nation. He will serve the American people with distinction. Senator Dean Heller of Nevada. Left square bracket Kavanaugh's right square bracket legal career combined with his educational credentials make him an exceptionally qualified nominee, and that is why I voted to confirm Judge Brett Kavanaugh to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court. Senator Richard Burr of North Carolina. Justice Kavanaugh has proven himself to be a fair, serious and qualified jurist, who will continue his distinguished record of service on the U.S. Supreme Court. Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina. Judge Brett Kavanaugh is one of the most eminently qualified individuals to be nominated to serve on the Supreme Court in recent memory. He has spent the last decade serving on the U.S. Court of Appeals, earning a reputation for being a mainstream and fair-minded jurist with excellent judicial temperament. He will be an outstanding Supreme Court justice. Senator John Hoeven of North Dakota. I voted to confirm Judge Kavanaugh because he is well qualified to serve on the United States Supreme Court. As a judge for 12 years on the D.C. Circuit Court, he has shown a strong commitment to upholding the rule of law, rather than legislating from the bench. His judicial record shows him to be a fair and impartial jurist with deep respect for the Constitution. Senator Rob Portman of Ohio. Brett Kavanaugh has the qualifications and experience necessary to ably serve on the Supreme Court, and I was proud to support his nomination. I've known him for 18 years as someone who is thoughtful and compassionate, someone who has a big heart and has the humility to listen. Just as he has been highly regarded as a fair-minded and independent judge on the Circuit Court, I believe that is how he will be viewed on the Supreme Court. Senator Jim Inhofe of Oklahoma. I'm proud that I voted to confirm Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court today. Brett Kavanaugh will be committed to upholding the Constitution and respecting judicial restraint. That's exactly the kind of well-qualified, balanced justice we need. Senator James Lankford of Oklahoma. Judge Kavanaugh is qualified to serve on SCOTUS. He has a strong record as a judge. He has served his legal local community well through his instruction at law schools, service to the homeless, mentorship of young law clerks, and as a coach of his daughter's ball team. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. Brett Kavanaugh is exactly the right person, at the right time to serve on the Supreme Court. A conservative jurist. A good man with the background and experience worthy of this high honor. Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina. I have full faith and expectation that Judge Kavanaugh will continue his sterling 13-year judicial record of integrity, impartiality, fairness, a devotion to the rule of law, and honoring the Founding Fathers' original constitutional intent. Senator John Thune of South Dakota. Judge Kavanaugh is a brilliant jurist who has spent 25 years of his life in public service. He has impeccable legal credentials and has consistently demonstrated a deep respect for our Constitution and the rule of law. Senator Mike Rounds of South Dakota. Judge Kavanaugh is immensely qualified to serve as a Supreme Court Justice. During the last 12 years on the D.C. Circuit Court, he has demonstrated a thorough understanding that a judge's responsibility is to interpret and apply the law and Constitution as written, not based on a judge's personal views or political motivations. Senator Lamar Alexander of Tennessee, I voted to confirm Judge Kavanaugh because of his 26 years of distinguished public service and his reputation as a superior jurist, lawyer and teacher. Senator Orrin Hatch of Utah, confirming Brett Kavanaugh today to the United States Supreme Court is one of the most important things we have done in my 42 years in the Senate. Judge Kavanaugh's confirmation sent a strong message to the country that civility, process, and the integrity of our institutions matter. Senator Mike Lee of Utah, Judge Kavanaugh is a good man. He is eminently qualified to serve on the Supreme Court of the United States. I was pleased to vote in favor of cloture and was honored to vote for his confirmation. Senator Shelley Moore Capito of West Virginia, I was proud to vote to confirm Judge Kavanaugh as our newest Supreme Court Justice today, and I have no doubt that he will serve fairly and judiciously. I have remained supportive of Judge Kavanaugh throughout the confirmation process because I believe that his exemplary record as a jurist, his respect for the Constitution and the rule of law, and his character and devotion to public service make him immensely qualified and deserving of this important responsibility. Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming, for the second time in 2 years, the Senate has confirmed a highly qualified judge to sit on the U.S. Supreme Court. Despite attempts to smear his good name, Judge Kavanaugh has proven himself to be a mainstream, independent judge. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Bob Goodlatte of Virginia, Judge Brett Kavanaugh has proven himself to be one of the most qualified jurists to be nominated to the Supreme Court. President Trump has made an excellent nomination to fill the seat of Justice Anthony Kennedy, and I have no doubt that Judge Kavanaugh will serve the court admirably as the next Associate Justice. Rep. Bradley Byron of Alabama, our nation is better off with Judge Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court, and I am glad the circus is over. Rep. Martha Roby of Alabama, Judge Brett Kavanaugh is a conservative, experienced jurist who I believe will be a strict constitutionalist on the Supreme Court. I am pleased that the United States Senate voted to confirm him, and I am confident he will serve the court and the American people admirably. Rep. Andy Biggs of Arizona, I am very pleased that Judge Brett Kavanaugh has been confirmed to take a seat on the United States Supreme Court. Judge Brett Kavanaugh is highly qualified and will be an excellent justice. Rep. Paul Gosar of Arizona, after an unprecedented, unusual and unjust process, I am happy to see my Senate colleagues confirm Brett Kavanaugh to the Hash SCOTUS. I am confident he will serve on the highest court with honor, intelligence and integrity. Rep. Bruce Westerman of Arkansas, congratulations, Judge Kavanaugh, upon your confirmation by the Senate to become an Associate Justice on our nation's highest court. My prayers are with you for discernment and strength to uphold our Constitution. Rep. Darrell Issa of California, it is my full expectation that as an Associate Justice, Brett Kavanaugh will display the same careful consideration for the facts, adherence to the law as written, and impartial and independent judicial temperament that has marked his entire judicial career. Rep. Doug Lamborn of Colorado, I'm extremely pleased my colleagues in the Senate voted to confirm Judge Kavanaugh to the United States Supreme Court. Since President Trump's announcement, I've supported Judge Kavanaugh because of his overwhelming qualifications and clear record of upholding the Constitution. Rep. Neil Dunn of Florida, Americans spoke loud and clear with the election of President Trump and he has kept his promise to nominate a constitutional conservative with an outstanding judicial record to the Supreme Court. Rep. Barry Loudermilk of Georgia, my colleagues in the Senate did the right thing, confirming Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the U.S. Supreme Court. Judge Kavanaugh has led an exemplary life, as a family man and a career judge. Rep. Austin Scott of Georgia, I congratulate Justice Kavanaugh on his confirmation and commend President Trump on a successful nomination. Rep. Mike Simpson of Idaho, I applaud the confirmation of Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court. Throughout his career, Judge Kavanaugh has demonstrated a stalwart commitment to the U.S. Constitution, and I am confident he will approach his work on the nation's highest bench with the same commitment. Rep. Darren LaHood of Illinois. The U.S. Senate's confirmation of Judge Kavanaugh to the Utah Supreme Court today is historic. His judicial temperament and measured approach will ensure that our Constitution is interpreted properly, as intended by our founding fathers. Rep. Jim Banks of Indiana. This is a historic moment in the fight to preserve our constitutional liberties. For first time in my life there will be an originalist majority on SCOTUS that will interpret the law, uphold our constitutional rights as founders intended. Thank you at Real Donald Trump. Rep. Todd Rokita of Indiana. The confirmation of Judge Brett Kavanaugh is a victory for the rule of law. Judge Kavanaugh is a constitutional textualist who will interpret the law as it is written and will serve honestly and faithfully on our nation's highest court. Rep. Andy Harris of Maryland. I am proud of my colleagues in the Senate for their decision to confirm Judge Brett Kavanaugh to be the next Associate Justice on the United States Supreme Court. Congratulations, Judge Kavanaugh. Rep. Bill Huizenga of Michigan. Congratulations to newly confirmed Scottish Justice, Brett Kavanaugh, a qualified jurist with a long judicial track record of reading and following the Constitution, not twisting it to fit his own worldview. Rep. David Trott of Michigan. Throughout his career, from the White House to the federal bench, Brett Kavanaugh has demonstrated excellence. I am confident he will serve our country well on the nation's highest court. Congratulations to Justice Kavanaugh and his family. Rep. Vicky Hartzler of Missouri. The Senate has done its due diligence in investigating Judge Kavanaugh, and they have found no evidence against him. Furthermore, this was turned into an embarrassing display of partisan vitriol. I support his confirmation and am pleased the Senate has acted accordingly. Rep. Blaine Lueck, Mayor of Missouri. Congratulations to Justice Brett Kavanaugh on his confirmation to United States Supreme Court. Based on his exemplary background and qualifications, Justice Kavanaugh will uphold our conservative American values for years to come. Rep. Jason Smith of Missouri. Congratulations to Judge Brett Kavanaugh, the next Supreme Court Justice. I'll be praying for Justice Kavanaugh as he fights for the rule of law and upholds the Constitution on the highest court of the land. Rep. Don Bacon of Nebraska. I wish Judge Kavanaugh well as he becomes the newest Supreme Court Justice. Rep. Adrian Smith of Nebraska. Congratulations to Justice Kavanaugh on his confirmation to the Supreme Court of the United States. Grateful that POTUS chose a champion of conservative principles and the rule of law. Rep. Mark Meadows of North Carolina. Another originalist justice on the Supreme Court. Another promise kept. Congratulations, Justice Kavanaugh. Thank you at POTUS at Real Donald Trump and Senate leadership for your outstanding work. Rep. Warren Davidson of Ohio. Congratulations Justice Kavanaugh on your confirmation to the SCOTUS. Rep. Bill Johnson of Ohio. President Trump has now nominated, and had confirmed, 2 Supreme Court justices who are committed to the U.S. Constitution and the American rule of law. Congratulations to Justice Brett Kavanaugh and his family. Rep. Mark Wayne Mullen of Oklahoma. Judge Kavanaugh's fortitude and resilience throughout his confirmation process is beyond admirable. His commitment to the rule of law, justice, and the Constitution will serve this country well while he sits on the bench for the many years ahead. Rep. Mike Kelly of Pennsylvania. Congratulations to Judge Brett Kavanaugh on being confirmed as the newest Associate Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court. Rep. Jeff Duncan of South Carolina. Congratulations to Brett Kavanaugh, a highly intelligent, supremely qualified judge on his confirmation to the Supreme Court. Rep. Tom Rice of South Carolina. Confirmed. As a Supreme Court Justice, I am confident Judge Kavanaugh will continue his unwavering commitment to protecting our constitutional rights and interpreting our laws as they are written. Rep. Joe Wilson of South Carolina. Justice Kavanaugh is highly qualified and respected, and has a distinguished record of being fair, impartial, and faithful to the Constitution. Rep. Diane Black of Tennessee. Judge Brett Kavanaugh is a highly qualified jurist, devoted public servant with an impeccable career. I have no doubt that he will faithfully uphold our nation's Constitution foundational principles to the fullest extent. Rep. Chuck Fleischman of Tennessee. I have full confidence that as a Supreme Court Justice, Judge Brett Kavanaugh will preserve the fabric of our nation, the Constitution, by interpreting the law as written. Rep. Jody Arrington of Texas. Judge Kavanaugh will be a fair, informed, and objective justice with the highest fidelity to the Constitution and rule of law. Rep. Michael Burgess of Texas. Judge Brett Kavanaugh is a qualified jurist who will uphold the original interpretation of the U.S. Constitution as the framers intended. Rep. John Carter of Texas. I'm confident that Brett Kavanaugh will uphold his commitment to justice and interpret the United States Constitution as written while on the SCOTUS. Congratulations, Justice Kavanaugh. Rep. Bill Flores of Texas. As a Supreme Court Justice, Judge Brett Kavanaugh will be a staunch defender of the Constitution and the rule of law. I am confident that he will serve our nation with dignity as an outstanding jurist of impeccable integrity. Rep. Randy Weber of Texas. Judge Kavanaugh is an experienced, fair jurist who will serve our nation well on the highest court. He is a man of integrity who holds the Constitution dear. Rep. Dan Newhouse of Washington. I congratulate Judge Kavanaugh on his Senate confirmation to SCOTUS. I have no doubt that Justice Kavanaugh will faithfully plus impartially consider decisions that come before the court for many years to come and will respect limited role of gov as defined in the Constitution. Rep. Sean Duffy of Wisconsin. Congratulations to Justice Brett Kavanaugh. State officials. Governor Nathan Deal of Georgia. Brett Kavanaugh is one of our nation's finest legal minds and he will serve on the U.S. Supreme Court with distinction. Governor Phil Bryant of Mississippi. Congratulations Mr. President and Judge Kavanaugh. Governor Mike Parson of Missouri. It's great that the United States Senate has confirmed Judge Kavanaugh to SCOTUS. His confirmation is welcomed news to the great state of Missouri. Thanks to President Trump, America is now one step closer to a Supreme Court that reflects our values and upholds the rule of law. Governor Pete Ricketts of Nebraska. Congratulations to Judge Kavanaugh on his confirmation as the newest Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. He is a jurist with a proven record of respecting the Constitution, and his experience will serve the American people well on the nation's highest court. This confirmation underscores President Trump's promise to nominate conservative judges. Arkansas Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin. Congratulations to Judge Brett Kavanaugh on his confirmation to the U.S. Supreme Court. His impressive credentials, legal acumen, fidelity to the Constitution, judicial philosophy, devotion to his family faith make him an outstanding addition to the SCOTUS. Kansas Lieutenant Governor Tracy Martin. Congratulations to new Associate Justice Brett Kavanaugh. At POTUS made a great pip. Mississippi Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves. Left square bracket T right square bracket E Senate did its job, and the SCOTUS has a new member that will focus on interpreting the Constitution as written. Ohio Lieutenant Governor Mary Taylor. Congratulations to Justice Kavanaugh. And thank you to the senators with courage enough to stand up to the mob and do what is right. Arkansas Attorney General Leslie Rutledge. I have been proud to support President Donald J. Trump's nomination of Justice Kavanaugh because of his proven record of adhering to the Constitution and the rule of law, ensuring the liberties of all Americans are protected. Policy advocacy organizations Faith Freedom Coalition Chairman Ralph Reed. The confirmation of Judge Kavanaugh is a victory for the rule of law. It was also a vindication of a man of faith, an able public servant and a brilliant jurist. We are deeply grateful to President Trump for standing so firmly behind his outstanding nominee. Family Research Council President Tony Perkins. This nomination and today's confirmation were about the Constitution and the foundational freedoms it was designed to protect. Today was a major step in the journey to restore the Constitution to its rightful and intended role in our republic. Freedom Works President Adam Brandon. Today is a great day for the U.S. Constitution, limited government, and the American rule of law. I have no doubt that Judge Kavanaugh will be an outstanding member of the Supreme Court. Heritage Foundation President K. Coles James. Today is a victory for liberty in America. I am overjoyed that the Senate confirmed Brett Kavanaugh, a good man and good jurist. Justice Kavanaugh will serve with distinction as an Associate Justice on the Supreme Court of the United States for years to come. Heritage Foundation Mies Center for Legal Judicial Studies Director John Malcolm. After a contentious confirmation process, the Senate has wisely voted to confirm Judge Brett Kavanaugh to serve as an Associate Justice on the U.S. Supreme Court. This is an outstanding development for the country and for the rule of law. Independent Women's Forum, welcome to the Supreme Court, Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Justice prevailed. Fairness was preserved. Due process was protected. Today is a good day for America. National Rifle Association Institute for Legislative Action, NRA-ELA, Executive Director Chris Cox. On behalf of our nearly 6 million members, the NRA congratulates Brett Kavanaugh on his confirmation to the U.S. Supreme Court. Kavanaugh is an eminently qualified jurist who will interpret the Constitution as the framers intended. He respects our Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms for self-defense. Susan B. Anthony List President Marjorie Tannen Fielder, we congratulate Justice Kavanaugh on his well-deserved and hard-earned confirmation. The balance of the Supreme Court has shifted back toward one that respects the will of the voters expressed through their representatives, a resounding victory for American people, who overwhelmingly trusted President Trump to choose Supreme Court nominees.